Good evening and welcome to the garden shed. So tonight I thought I'd give you 3 tips on chord changes. This is something I struggled quite a lot with when I was learning to play the guitar in the early 90s. But yeah, I hope these help you if you've only just started to play, in these troubled times of coronavirus and self-isolation. So, but before I start, I need to just go back up to standard tuning because that was drop D, so 2 ticks. That's it. Okay, so then, tip number 1 for chord changes is always change on the upstroke. So what I'll do is I'll give you a few examples. G and D is a good example. Yeah, so say for example if you're playing in G and you come to D. Now if you notice on the upstroke before I changed to the D, I didn't really play a chord. So you've got a few options here. I'll just play that slowly. So if you'll notice, I actually took my fingers off the fretboard as I was changing. Nobody will ever notice. You don't have to hit the change perfect, so to speak. Yeah, it could be open strings, or you could just maybe mute the strings as well. Just whatever suits you best. You don't need to do this. You can get away with actually swapping over during the upstroke prior to hitting the chord, but the important thing is hit the chord in time. So when you come to the D, as long as you get to the D in the right time, you'll be okay. So that was tip number 1. Tip number 2 is use anchor fingers. So anchor fingers are basically when you're switching between 2 chords, they're the fingers that don't move. So for example, if you're playing G, so the way I play G, I've got my 3rd and 4th fingers on the top 2 strings. When I move to a D, they stay where they are, so the only fingers that move are my 1st and 2nd fingers, if you see that. So the anchor fingers in this scenario is the 3rd and 4th finger. And if you can learn what the anchor fingers are, it'll come naturally for all the different chords and all the different chord changes. It'll help you out a lot, especially when you're learning new chords, more complex chords, extensions and stuff. So always use an anchor finger. The more the merrier, really. I mean, you could, if you've got one anchor, say for example, C to G, I suppose you could have the anchor finger of the 1st when you're coming into G, and then take off your 1st finger. Yeah, so it depends what chords you're playing, but always look for anchor fingers and it'll help your chord changes become smoother. So the 3rd tip I've got for you is just don't worry about it. As guitarists, we've got the luxury really of not having to play 100% cleanly 100% of the time. You know, that's unless you're a Steve Vai or a Joe Satriani. We can get away with being a little bit sloppy most of the time, and that just comes across as sort of a feel thing, really. Drummers and even bass players, they need to sort of keep the time, keep it tight and keep it solid. But as guitar players, we can tend to mess about a little bit, so don't worry about it. When you're switching chords, just as long as you hit your target chord, it doesn't really matter that much what happens in the middle. I'd say just keep playing, keep practicing, practice songs that you like, and just keep playing. That's the most important thing. you'll be surprised at how much you can get away with. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for liking and subscribing. I'll see you on the next one.